Hey there everyone, welcome back to the channel or welcome to the channel if you're new. So I just ate some like dark chocolate, and trust me when I say this tastes like literal dirt. Like, I'm not even kidding. Don't ask me how I know how dirt tastes. Anyways, we are going to see how to use variables in this video. This is the part 3 or 4 of C++ beginner series, and we are going to see variables. So variables, what they are. Variables are basically containers in which you can store some things. So just to demonstrate the use of variables, I have created these 3 lines. Just ignore the sound, the background sound. I'm really sorry for that. But I have these 3 lines, and at the end I'm terminating these with a new line character, so that I have something like this. So John is a boy, he's 19 years old, new lines, and John loves pancakes, new line, and stuff like that basically. Now what I want to do is, for example, let's say I want to change the name of this person um, to Emma, right? Emma. Then I have to change this name at other places as well. That's an issue, but it's just three words, so I can change that. Emma is a girl now. Emma is not a boy, Emma is a girl. So Emma is a girl, and not he, it's she. She is 19 years old, right? Let's say I wanted to change the age as well. Let's say it's 17, right? Now, that's great. We changed the entire thing. But what if I want to change it back? What if I change this to John? Again, I have to copy this again. I have to do this. Boy, 19, right? Now, what if I want to change these talents he has, right? I have to change them like this and stuff like that, right? You get the point. The point is that without variables, you have to face repetition, right? You have to repeat things. Now, it's not much big of a deal when you have literal 3 lines only. But what if you had multiple lines? Yeah, what if you had that, right? What would you do? Now we want to change the name to Emma. You have to change the name here, Emma, and then you have to like paste it. No, I'm not doing that, right? No one is doing that. And that's where variables actually come into play. That's not the only use of variables, but that's one of the uses of them, and they can actually prove really useful. So firstly, let's start off with the syntax of variables. So I'm just going to make a little comment, and comments, if you don't know, are literally just text that the compiler doesn't see. So you can type anything and it will still compile fine, right? It will just ignore that text basically. So you can use these 2 slashes to start a comment. So how is a variable declared? So the syntax of declaring a variable is type. The type of the variable, it's a string, it's an int, means an integer, or it's a floating point number, basically a decimal or stuff like that. What is it? The type of the variable. Then we give the name of the variable by separating it with a space, the name, and set it equal to some value, and then end this statement with a semicolon. So that's how we actually declare variables. For example, I want to declare a variable for the age. So I can say an integer, it's an integer, age is an integer, so int, what is the name of the variable? This age. And what do I want it set, what do I want it equal to? Is I want it to be equal to 19 and a semicolon, right? And it does not show me any errors. Now what if I want to print this age? Like, instead of this 19, I want to print age, right? So what I can do, I can just remove this and just add these 2 semicolons, right? And add another set of these angular brackets. So what I'm basically doing, I'm printing this string, then I'm printing a space, and then the age, basically 19, and then I'm printing a space again, and then years old. If we run this, it prints John is a boy, she, it's not she, but you get the point, she is 19 years old. So see how I actually print out this prints out the space. If you don't just if I just remove the space real quick, you can see it shows something like this. So it's really necessary to have the space, and there you go. So now what's the advantage of these variables is, I cannot speak today, but the advantage of these variables is that if you change this, like something like 17, run this, and there you go, you have 17 years old as your output. So you can change this to any number, like any number basically. And basically John is a boy and she is a lot old. That's a lot of age. I cannot speak, I'm really sorry. So let's just set it back to 18, 19 for now. Now let's make a variable for the name as well. So let's do this quickly. What is the name? So name is a string. String is something that is basically a collection of characters, is a string. So we have string inside the standard namespace again. So we have been using this std namespace, and we can't just type string like this. Actually, we have string inside of standard namespace. Std : string string string, and notice how it highlights it in like a green color, right? And then we are going to give the name again. So this is the type, and this is the name is going to be name. So the name of the character, name, equals to, now we have to assign it a string because the variable's type is string, so we have to give it a string. Now the string value is going to be John, right? And end it with a semicolon, of course. Now what if we want to print name here? So very similarly to age, we are going to remove the name, right? The name of the character, which is John. Then we are going to print name and then these angular brackets. So it's printing out name first, and then a space, and is a boy. So name is a boy, she is age years old, something like that. And notice that I don't have to have these like quotation marks in name, because then it will just print out literally name, like that, name is a boy. We want the variable, so we will not be using these quotes. And now you can see it prints out John is a boy, she is 19 years old, she's 19 years old. Yes, that's totally correct. And we are going to actually replace John with name. So remove that and paste that there, like that. Now what's the advantage of this system is, if I change this name again, similar to age, if I change this to Emma now, there you go, Emma is a boy, yes, that's totally correct. She is 19 years old, Emma loves pancakes. So as you can see, I just had to change the name once and it changed everywhere. That's really cool. Let's also make a variable for the age, which we already have. For the gender, we don't have that, so let's make it for the gender. So let's make it a string because it's gender. So I want you to try to make it yourself, and if you cannot, then you can come back to the video and you can see how to make it. But just pause the video right now and try to make it yourself.
12 seconds later.
Alright, welcome back. Let's create the variable, which is a standard string, of course. Call it gender and set it equal to, let's say, Emma is a girl, so Emma is a girl. And when we have that, we can actually replace this one with the new variable we made. And we have to put these quotation marks. Perfect. So when we run this, we'll see Emma is a girl, she is 19 years old. We have to actually add a space there. And there you go, Emma is a girl, she's 19 years old, and she loves pancakes and blah blah blah. And you can change the gender, so you can make it a boy. You can make Emma a boy, and it will be Emma is the boy. That's really cool. You can use variables for a bunch of stuff. Now let's try to do some other things with variables. Let's say we have, let's just delete these. variables. Let's keep the age, right? And let's rename this variable as boy age, like that. And notice the convention I'm using, like that. You don't have to use this, you can just do that, but it makes it easier to see the syllables, the different words in a variable, so it makes them easier to see. And we are going to make a girl age and set it equal to 17. We are going to print out the sum of these. So we are using this plus operator to add these two ages together, and then I'm going to give a semicolon and just run this. The sum of the ages of the boy and the girl is 36, and that is totally correct. What if we want to do the difference? So we can do a difference, boy age minus girl age this time, and there you go. The difference between these is 2. That's so cool. We can do a lot of things with variables, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. You can do much more with variables, and in the next video we're going to see how to do more things with variables by taking in the input from the user and then printing that out, right? But that's for the next video, of course. So if you like the video, then please be sure to leave a like. Please comment if you like the video, what can I improve in the video except the microphone quality, and if you want the microphone quality to improve, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. So till then, take care, and that's it for today, and I'm out.